Welcome to Junkyards and Barn Finds, and this is Model Monday. I've not built a truck model in a long time. There's a couple I have to build, and I rarely see anybody build the complete truck models on YouTube. So what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this light on here, and we're just here at the kitchen table, and we're going to build this AMT Peterbilt 352 Pacemaker Cabover. I haven't built, this is going to be an easier of all the trucks I have, so let's just see what's in the box. So we have the Cabover cab, and we've got the interior piece there. Lots of chrome. Wow, lots of chrome. A ton of tires. We've got glass windshields, which are one big windshield and the side glass. Yeah, see, this is why I'm going to do this one first, the other one, because here's the frame, and this is one of those where I have to build the frame. So I'm going to need, if you don't have one of these, go to Michael's or Walmart or any of the sewing stores or wherever and get yourself a mat that has all these squares on it, because we're going to have to build the frame. And then here's other parts: wheels, engine, suspension parts, exhaust, and then what's in here's two axles. And then this one is the Coca-Cola one, so it's going to have the Coca-Cola decals. We'll look at those later. And it's an AMT kit, reissued by Round 2. Parts not to be used right there. So I'm hoping these are numbered. A lot of times with these big trucks, they were not numbered. So I'm going to get started, and we'll show some stuff as I go along. If I showed you, this is like a 3-day build, so I'm not going to show you. So the first thing is we're going to lay out the frame. I'll get back to you when I've laid the frame out to show you how to build the frame. But this is not a typical one where I show you all the stuff, because it would be like 2 days long. So we'll just show you a segment. So the first thing is we're going to build part 1, the engine, part 2, the transmission, and part 4, the basic chassis. And then once we're done part 4, we'll come back and I'll show you where we're at. All right, talk to you in a bit. All right, so here's a weird thing, guys, so this is an old AMT model, and it has all these different numbers on it, which you would think would be the numbers for the parts. But the numbers for these parts aren't the same as the numbers on the sprues. So you actually have to look at the number on the back of the box. The numbers here will tell you what the number. Don't pay attention to the ones on the sprue. It tells you to break the sprues apart into all these little areas, because like I was going to do the frame, and number one, I take a Sharpie to color the frame numbers in so I can see them better. But these numbers do not correspond with the directions, because I think that's a new direction print. These numbers on here correspond with the directions. So you have to take the sprue and you put it up here and go, okay, where's this sprue? Well, it looks like it's this one right here. And so you have to say this number is not 50, it's number 10. And this is not 50 whatever, it's number 11. So just make sure when you're checking your parts, because you first wanted to make sure all your parts are here, that you check them against the sprues on the back of the box. And then when you're building this, you want to look at the sprue and use the numbers here for the numbers on the directions. All right, that's just one of the first things I noticed, and so I just wanted to make that clear for you guys. And then we're gonna build, like I said, we're gonna build the frame and the engine, and then we'll be back. We've glued this together And you gotta make sure that these are glued the right way up and all that stuff, like it says there. And then I taped this, I followed these squares to make sure everything was 90 degrees, which it is. So, and then this is gonna sit here till tomorrow. Okay guys, the only way to get this frame completely straight is once you have it built and put together with just the basics on the inside, you put it in a tub of very hot water, and then, sorry, that's the dogs, and then you just put weight. I'm just putting the 2 Mod Podge on them, and then we'll just let this sit overnight, because that will have it from being twisted. Because if you try to build this twisted, you won't notice it until you try to put the axles on, and then you'll always have one wheel that's off the ground. So very easy just to do is put this in super hot water for about 30 seconds and then just lay it here overnight. As you can see, I've also put all the non-chrome parts together for the engine for this. Now the funny thing with Peterbilt, real Peterbilt, were they painted all their engines completely white. The whole engine was white. I don't know why, always was, but a Peterbilt engine out of the factory is white. So we're gonna keep this one white. All right, we will see you in the morning. Morning, and as you can see, by putting this in hot water and having the 2 Mod Podges sitting on it, just put some weight. Now, our frame is perfectly straight and it's perfectly square. So now we can build this with confidence. We've built the engine, except for the chrome pieces. And we've also put the tanks together. And here's the other thing. Now I don't use anything of it, so I'm not going to use putty a lot. Like if I was making this for competition, I would use putty and get rid of all the seams and everything. But we're just building the truck model out of the box, because I don't want you guys to have to worry about putty and stuff putting it together. And let's just see how it fits out of the box. Nice thing with the cab is a lot of the holes in the cab are already punched. They come that way, which is pretty cool. So I'm probably going to paint the cab today. We'll paint the inside tan because it tells you some of the colors according to the directions. Interior upholstery colors for this Peterbilt, a Peterbilt 352, came in oxblood red, royal blue, dark brown, black, medium green. So I think we're going to go with the brown, because brown with a red outside would be good. I don't think a red inside and a red outside would look good at all. Neither would royal blue, black, or green. It also says that fleet spec interior doors and headliners are light blue green. Well, this one I'm going to pretend that the guy put seat covers on that are brown or tan. So we're going to paint the seats a little lighter tan. We're going to do the bedroll here and the pillow a different color, and I'm going to do the whole interior tan. Once we're done that, I looked up. Now this paint here is a paint that Coca-Cola had, but Coca-Cola had some other paints too that were red and white. So I'm going to do a red and white design on here that I like, which was pretty much having the white go around the bottom here, around the bottom here, here, and then also around where the window line is. So I'm going to tape it off a little different. I'm going to paint this now. I'm going to paint the tanks red now. We're not going to paint, I'm going to spray paint the interior brown right now, and then the frame, we still have a lot of building to do, so I'm going to just paint these to get those started. And then the engine stays white, but we're going to put the frame together today too, and the wheels together. So I am going to paint these wheel hubs with the interior. These are going to get painted red, but right now I'm just going to tape it off. Actually, you know what, I think I'm going to paint it white first, the cab white, so it has white paint on it, and then we'll tape it off. But that's what we're doing today. We'll come back in a little while. You'll see the frame put together a lot more. So we'll put the frame together, and we'll have the interior done, and the engine is going to get painted white, and then we'll put the other parts on it. So the engine should be done by the time you get back. For those who are used to my channel, we're just going to be outside on the back porch. Dogs are running by. I'm not using a lot of stuff I usually use, but this is a Krylon. This is a really good color. I like it. It's called Brown Boots Satin. It's an indoor outdoor. It's a satin paint and it looks like leather from Brown Boots, and we're going to do the interior that color right now. When it dries, it's satin and it looks like leather, like tan leather. It's a really good color for interiors. But I think it'll do really well. I'm just going to paint the interior of the cab first, then we'll come out and tape off and paint the exterior. This way we'll have the whole interior done. Just a light coat, nothing special. Instead of doing a deep brown, I'm just doing it this color, which is good for me. I like it. It's your truck, you can do whatever you want. So, all right. A little bit of red on the axles. On the rear drums, I did some black on, Krylon black on the brake, air brakes, and the steering column. So we also did the seats to tan. We did the boot, leather boot, brown boot on the dashboard. So interior is painted tan, and we went ahead and used painter's tape and covered all the windows and everything. Looks like I have to see if that light comes in. Probably have to redo that corner a little bit, but then we're going to paint the outside. So I'm going to paint it white first, and we'll paint it white with the Rust-Oleum white that we have over there, and then I'm going to tape off the white spots and we'll paint the red on there. But it's going to look pretty cool. Anyway, it's not going to look all red like that. I'm not a big fan of that, so I'm going to make it a design that I saw online of a different Coca-Cola truck. So it's going to be red and white. It'll just have a different design on it. Alright, so this is the engine, which is going to be white. We don't have any of the chrome pieces on it, but the transmission part, it's got to be black. So what I'm going to do is paint the transmission first, and then we will come back, tape off the transmission, and then paint the engine white. Usually I go through and show you painting each individual piece while I'm painting of the trees, but today we're shooting this aluminum, which is your radiators, the exhaust pipes, some other minor pieces here. This is the step that will go over the fuel tank. That's chrome. I painted that chrome. These are red. I need to paint them now because I can't paint them on the chassis, because if I do, then I'm going to paint over the shocks, which is there. Here's the brake drums are black. They're already inside. I just painted the engine white. I had painted the transmission black. Here are the rear hubs because the red part sticks out into where the tires are. Again, here is part of the brakes for the hub, and then right now we're just waiting for this. I repainted this white, and then we're going to tape it off and paint the red on there on the cab. So we're just doing a little bit different this time as far as what you see get painted, because I wanted to do the shocks orange. I wanted to do a couple of pieces differently. So just stay with me. You'll see everything, the pieces as they go on. And at the end, I'll let you know. I'll put a list of all the paints that I used. How you do the mud flaps is I painted them black. You paint them whatever color you want. And then you just, because the Peterbilt insignia and circle is raised, you can just take, like I took a 600 grit sandpaper and just sand it over it, and it will bring the raised letters back up white. So that's how I did that. So it's pretty easy to do, but you gotta wait till the paint dries. Okay, we're getting soon on the cab drying. All these other pieces are drying. It's 98 degrees in Florida today. Should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.